For the entirety of human history, death has been the only absolute certainty. Taxes? You can evade them. Death? It collects everyone. Kings, beggars, tyrants, and saints. We have accepted aging as a natural law. Gravity pulls you down, time pulls you apart. But what if I told you that in Silicon Valley, death is no longer viewed as an inevitability? It is being viewed as a technical problem, a bug in the code, and like any bug, it can be patched. Right now, billions of dollars are flowing into labs funded by Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, and Peter Thiel. Their goal isn't just to cure cancer or heart disease. Their goal is to cure the underlying condition that causes them, aging itself. There is a concept called longevity escape velocity. It's the moment when science can extend your life by more than 1 year for every year that passes. If you survive to reach that point, theoretically, you never have to die. Are we close? Or is this just a billionaire's fantasy? Today, we are going to look at the biology, the AI that is accelerating it, and the terrifying economic question. If immortality becomes real, who actually gets to live forever? To understand if we can stop aging, we have to understand what aging is. For a long time, we thought it was just wear and tear, like a car rusting over time. But biology is weirder than a car. Meet the naked mole rat. It looks, well, terrible. But this little creature barely ages. It lives 10 times longer than a similar-sized mouse and almost never gets cancer. It proves that aging is not a universal law of physics. It's a biological setting. In 2012, Shinya Yamanaka won the Nobel Prize for discovering Yamanaka factors. Think of this as a factory reset button for cells. He proved that you can take an old, dying adult cell and reprogram it back into a young, fresh stem cell. David Sinclair, a geneticist at Harvard, describes aging not as a hardware problem, but a software problem. Your DNA is the hardware. It's fine. The problem is the epigenome, the software that tells the DNA what to do. As we age, the software gets corrupted. It's like a scratched CD skipping tracks. The music is still there, but the laser can't read it. The current race in biotech, companies like Altos Labs, which has $3 billion in funding, is trying to polish the CD. They are developing therapies to reboot our cells. We have already done it in mice. We have restored vision in blind monkeys. The hardware is fixable, but doing this by hand is too slow. That is where the real revolution begins. Biology is complex. A human body has 37 trillion cells and billions of chemical reactions happen every second. No human brain can fully understand it. But for artificial intelligence, biology is just data. This is why 2025 and 2026 are pivotal years. We have entered the era of digital biology. Look at AlphaFold by Google DeepMind. For 50 years, scientists struggled to figure out the shapes of proteins. It was slow, painful work. AlphaFold came in and predicted the structure of nearly all known proteins on Earth. Basically, overnight. Now, AI models are being used to simulate how drugs interact with the human body before we even test them. NVIDIA is building Earth 2 for climate, but they are also building digital twins of human biology. Imagine an AI that runs 1 million simulations of your body every night. It tests 1 million potential drug combinations to reverse your kidney aging, finds the perfect one, and sends the formula to a 3D printer. AI compresses time. What used to take a century of trial and error now takes weeks. This is why the prediction curves for immortality are shifting. We aren't waiting for a biological Einstein to be born. We are building a Silicon one. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The comment I see on every video about this topic. This will only be for the billionaires. The elites will live forever, and we will die. It's a valid fear, but historically and economically, it's probably wrong. Let's look at the iPhone argument. When the first mobile phones came out, only Wall Street bankers had them. They were bricks that cost $4,000. Today, there are more smartphones on Earth than toilets. Technology always starts expensive and demonetizes over time. But there is a colder, more cynical economic reason why longevity will be available to you. You are a tax asset. Governments don't love you, but they love your GDP. Right now, the Western world is facing a demographic collapse. Birth rates are plummeting. Germany, Japan, South Korea, Canada, we are running out of workers. A sick, aging population is incredibly expensive. We spend trillions treating cancer, Alzheimer's, and heart disease in the last 5 years of a person's life. It is functionally bankrupting healthcare systems. If a government can pay $1,000 for a gene therapy that keeps you young, healthy, and most importantly, working and paying taxes until you are 100, they will do it. The economic incentive isn't to have immortal overlords. It's to have an eternal workforce. The state needs you to be young, not out of kindness, but out of necessity. If we solve the biological problem, we immediately create a psychological one. What happens to the human mind when you remove the deadline? First, consider risk. Right now, you drive a car, you cross the street, you go skydiving. Why? Because you're going to die anyway in 40 or 50 years. The cost of a mistake is high, but not infinite. But if you could live for 1,000 years, a car accident doesn't just rob you of a few decades, it robs you of a millennium. We might become a species of cowards, terrified to leave our homes, paralyzed by the fear of accidental death. Safety becomes the new religion. Second, consider love. Till death do us part is a romantic promise when you have 30 years left. It is a prison sentence when you have 300. Sociologists predict the end of traditional marriage. Instead, we might see term-limited marriage contracts. You sign up for 20 years to raise kids. After that, you renew or you move on. We might have 3 or 4 entirely different lives, different careers, different partners, different personalities within one biological lifespan. And finally, consider punishment. If a criminal gets a life sentence in 2050, does that mean we keep them in a box for 800 years? The justice system collapses when time loses its value. We would have to completely reinvent what it means to be human. There is a famous saying by physicist Max Planck: "Science advances one funeral at a time." New ideas only thrive because old scientists who are stuck in their ways eventually die and make room for the young. But what happens if the old guard never leaves? This is the gerontocracy trap. Imagine a world where the CEO of the biggest company has been in charge for 200 years. Imagine politicians who don't just serve 2 terms, but 2 centuries. If minds don't expire, ideas might calcify. We risk a world of perfect stability but zero innovation. The billionaires of today could become the immortal gods of tomorrow, compounding their wealth for hundreds of years until they own, well, everything. This is the great filter of immortality. The challenge isn't just keeping our bodies alive, it's keeping our civilization dynamic. We might need to enforce mandatory retirement or cultural resets just to prevent our society from freezing in time. If we don't, we might end up with a world that is healthy, wealthy, and incredibly, painfully boring. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest story ever written, the hero goes on a quest for immortality. He fails. The moral was, death gives life meaning. We have told ourselves this story for thousands of years to cope with the tragedy of losing the people we love. We convinced ourselves that death is natural because we had no choice. But we are the first generation in history where the ending of that story is being rewritten. We are standing on the edge of a cliff, looking at a bridge being built by AI and biotech. Some of us will make it across, some of us won't. It depends on how fast we can build and how we handle the transition. The cure for time is coming. The question is no longer, is it possible? The question is, are you ready for the burden of forever? Thanks for watching.